Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Yeah, start again then. Yeah. So the 7 steps I have to show to become an effective mentor: 1, character; 2, commitment; 3, connection; 4, compassion; 5, communication; 6, coaching; 7, consistency. And then I've got them 7 areas in depth, like what I need from my side. And then what I'm going to present to the school, it's going to be like 6 weeks program. So I'm going to have to present 6 different steps. So week 1 will be working, every week will be one-on-one with the child, but week 1 will be just understanding the child. So in that session, obviously it's nothing about me just finding ins and outs of what the kid likes, he doesn't like. Week 2 is about me getting the connection with the kids, so finding how I'm going to get that connection. And then week 3 and 4 is going to be then the child like working with me, in a PE session. And then obviously 5 and 6. But I'm waiting now for the feedback. So basically I'm going to ask people who are working with kids, the best 6 areas you got to cover. Like if they were me, what would they be after? Do you get what I mean? So, and then when I've got that basically in place, I'm going to go to the school and do you get what I mean? And then just present that.
So I think the important thing is when you break it up into, like you say, step 1, step 2, step 3, right?
Yeah.
It's always important to talk about why that subject. Then you teach. Then you need to know how to deliver that. Then you need to have. Then you need to teach them. You need to put them through some sort of exercise.
Why that subject? How? Yeah, and then I can do that through.
Exactly. Yeah, they can do that. Then the execution part. So in every step, like in your 7 steps that you're talking about, so every mini section should have this. You should be answering these questions.
So why, how, and how
can they execute that? So why they must be doing it? Then you must have some sort of reasoning behind why they should be doing this, right? So it could be the research that you find, the problem they are facing, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be a case where you have some sort of statistics to back up your claim, right?
Yeah.
And then secondly, then you say how you're going to do it. So you got to say, okay, through these steps, maybe it's a 1 hour delivery, or it's a questionnaire, or whichever, how you're going to deliver that, right? And then third is how you're going to get them to do it.
Yeah.
But you must always remember that after they work with you, they must be able to do it themselves. Then the program becomes effective.
So my friend, he works with kids and everything. He goes, one thing I'd say, he goes, so they're going to spend an hour with you, just for example.
Yeah.
Then he goes, then they've got 23 hours to undo that work.
Yes.
He goes,
exactly.
So he's like, so how are you going to fix that, or how are you get on that? So I thought that was a good question, wasn't it?
Yes, of course. That's why I say after you leave, they must be able to do it themselves. That's why you need to teach them how to do it, right? Yeah. So that's when your signature solution becomes really powerful, and you are able to then show tangible results at the end of working with you.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a real program.
And then that was the other fixer. It's a massive business, children mentor, loads. So I looked into it, and then there's another, because basically the plan to start with is to work with children that are either struggling in school or in the classroom, and they're referring to me to try and help. But then I found another, it was a mentorship program, was saying, kids that are just doing well or just normal, and they see people who are not doing so well getting mentored, they're like, so what about us? They deserve to be mentored just because they're basically causing a problem.
Yeah.
Then they be getting help.
Yeah.
So that was a good point as well, wasn't it?
No, I mean, so you're helping. There's two ends of the spectrum. So the one that's really doing well, they need mentorship as well, and the ones that are lagging, right? So there's plenty of people to help. That's for sure.
So what do you reckon though with that then? Do you just target one? like say people not doing so well? Would you try and target
No, I think if you're starting, be a hero to one first.
0 to 1?
Right? Yeah, don't try and stretch yourself. Don't try and be a solution to everyone. I think just be a solution to one first. Try and get that, like your 7 steps, your signature solution to that first.
Yeah.
Fix that first. Fix that, give results, and then once you have that and you have that program that's solidified, you know it's validated, then you go and help the other group. Because the buy-in then becomes easy on the other side because you have solved someone's problem first.
Yeah.
It's when you're trying to solve 2 problems at the same time, and if you don't, then you lose your value there, right? So yeah, so you need to, I would say, focus on one, whichever end of the spectrum. Focus on one, deliver that, get the result, then go and be a solution to the other end of the spectrum.
And then that was the other thing, like sort of mentoring. So my mate rang me. He goes, someone works with him, and he goes, my mate done my mate a favour. Then he goes to my mate, I need a favour off you now. And he's like, yeah, what's that? He goes, I've got a son. He's in the Nike Academy. Like, so he plays football. I think he's 17, 18. And he goes, he can't get motivated. So he goes, basically, I want him to work with someone like one-on-one. And my mate just messaged me saying, would you be up for it? And I went, to be fair, I've had a few requests, but I went, at the minute, like, probably not. But then I rang him and I was just like, what does he want? And he goes, basically, he can't get motivated. And I was like, well, if he's 17 now and he can't get motivated by himself, I went, this is the time, when he should be motivated.
Yeah.
If you can't get motivated now, I went, what? That sort of says it, that explains itself, sort of thing. And he's like, I think his dad just wants someone, like his fitness and just help him like through that. And then I was like, I went back to him. I think he's got a bit of money his dad might have. So I went just tell him to say I'm booked up basically for now. In the new year, I could consider it. And then I was thinking, do I do it or not? Just use it as sort of when I've got this in place as well. Sort of use principles.
Exactly.
And use it as. So
you validate it. Yeah, use it to validate it.
Yeah. So I was like, could I use it?
You see, when you look at motivation, right? The lack of motivation doesn't come because he doesn't care. It comes from a place of fear.
Yeah.
So when he says he's not motivated, actually it's not the motivation is the problem. It's something else. It's manifesting as a lack of motivation. Right? So we all been there, right? Because we don't get motivated because we fear things. It's a fear that manifests into I'm not motivated because you don't want to lose, you don't want to disappoint, you don't want to do that, so you kind of mask that, right? So it might be worth telling the dad, your son's not motivated, he's just fear.
And
then you need to try and get that fear away from him.
And then what would you? So I said, because basically, and then I said to my mate, and then I won't. It's basically, there's people would say they're doing an hour session around here, for example, one-on-one is for £30. And then I said, what you said, I went, they haven't got the best of qualifications, they haven't played football. I went, so I'm bringing a lot more. So I went, I wouldn't charge that. Do you get what I mean? So I went off the top of my head, because you sort of figure out what you said, your hour. I went, it'd probably be around like the 75 mark. And I know he has got a bit of, and I think I'll just say it, and if he says yeah, he says it. If not, it's just one of them, isn't it?
I know. I think don't. What is the problem? Always think about price points, right? What is the problem? How big is the problem that he's trying to solve?
It's bigger than
you know what I mean? Is it a bleeding neck problem that is his neck bleeding that you are the only one who can go and solve it? Then you pay anything.
Yeah.
So don't see price as will he do it? No. So I think it's the value you bring, right? So what you must, you see, because you're using your friend to go and talk to him, which is always lost in translation. So what you need to be able to just say, introduce me the guy. I want to see if he's a good fit. Let me get on the phone with him and have a chat.
Yeah.
You jump on the call. You find out what the real problem is. And then by talking to the dad, you'll understand how desperate he is to solve this problem.
Yeah.
And then based on that, I mean, if the dad feels that he's going to be a £1 million footballer, is he going to think about paying you £100? Really? You know what I mean? So
what would you do? Speak to both of them.
Who? As in
the dad and
no, speak to the dad first.
Speak to the dad.
Speak to the dad first, and then after that, find out what's the real problem, and then ask the dad for permission to speak to the lad.
Yeah.
And then when you speak to him, then find out what his real problem is. But one thing you must really understand, that if you're going to do this long term, make sure that you are fair, as in don't just take the money for taking it. You must be able to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you're not confident that you're going to solve the problem, don't do it. But I think you have enough experience being in football, being able to solve that problem for a 17-year-old. You can, right? So the problem is not motivation, because you cannot motivate people. I mean, you're not, you can't give him a juice and say, go motivate yourself, right? You can't do that. But you can set his mind up properly. You can set his framework properly.
Yeah.
Right? You got to see his habits. Like, is he having the right habit? Because habit causes results, right? Habit causes everything.
Yeah.
Is he doing if his mindset, is he doing the right sequence of things to get him where he is? Because generally all these guys are skipping stuff. That's why they feel, I'm not motivated.
Yeah.
And then you need to be able to say, listen, you need to be able to. A lot of the times people find it overwhelming because there's too much to do.
Yeah.
But you should be reframing it as saying, all I want you to do is improve 1% a day.
Yeah.
And then in 30 days, it's 30% improvement. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Right? When you break it down, frame it like that, it's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Right? So at the end of the day, I think it's not about motivation or whatever. You're there to change his habit, because you cultivated good habits when you were a player. Go back and say, okay, what are the things I did right? And then make that your signature solution.
Yeah.
And then try and match it with what he's trying to do at the moment.
Yeah.
And then you'll see it's out of whack, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, sorry, when I was there, I did these 5 things, but you're only doing these 2 things. No wonder you're not. Okay, I want you to do these 5 things, but I'm not going to ask you to do these 5 things tomorrow. I want you to do one thing first, and then the other thing, and then it all comes together.
Yeah.
I think so. So when you approach to do this, I think it's great that your mates tell him, but don't take second-hand message, because it's all
lost in translation.
Yeah, lost in translation, right? So with your friend's permission, just give the dad a call and say, what's the real problem, right? Ask him, and then while you're probing him, I mean, let him speak, which I always taught you about consultative. It's not you talking. You should be asking questions.
Yeah.
Right? So you should be asking them probing questions, and ask them, because ultimately the father will tell you what's the problem. If you ask the right questions, he will tell you the problem.
Yeah.
Because if you stop talking and listen, he will tell you what's the problem. And then you pick up what he's saying, and then I think you have enough intelligence to understand that. Then you piece the story together, and then say, maybe it's worth for me to speak to your son.
Yeah.
And then after, if you see that you can really help, and then you tell them, you know what, I think we are a good fit. I can help. These are the terms.
Yeah.
Then, because if you come with value, £75 is not a problem.
Yeah.
£100 is not a problem. £200 is not a problem, because you need to articulate the value. Because right now, what you're telling him is that it's not tangible. It's not, because it's a service. It's not tangible.
Yeah.
Your job is to make it tangible. When people can see clearly the value, they can see step by step the value, it's done.
Just getting your message across, and then I've been doing a little online course things. It's got little notes. I've gone through like a lot of things has popped up, like when actually working with you. So just little notes. Go up step by step. You will get ahead. So it's just on about like different brackets.
Yeah.
So it's like to say like to get to the 100,000, obviously is my next bracket. There's like saying you can't go from basically 0 to 1 million. You just got to go up like step by step. Love the grind, enjoy hard work. There's a famous basketball coach said, basically the player who's training for 3 hours would definitely get better results than the player training for 2 hours. You would get paid in relation to the problem you're solving.
Exactly. Totally. Yeah.
End goal, invest that entrepreneur is the end goal. Put off pleasure today for the future success. Then it's like the fundamentals. It's like plan. So the plan is the product, pricing, promotion, placement. Sophisticated plan, not complicated. The product. So it's had a chart. It's got pro ego and non ego. It's like you want to be bang in the middle.
Yep.
Then figure out how to figure out like your destiny. 1, what have you been doing the last 10 years? 2, what have you grew up around? 3, what strangers have complimented you on? 4, what can you talk about effortlessly on a Saturday night? 5, what did you want to do between the ages of 14 and 16? Because basically around that age you're supposed to have like no fears. So like, and basically if you link them all together, that's sort of where you should be doing. And then it's that 1 sentence plan. Like so I thought of a new one. Obviously I've got the Big Mind Sports Edit one, and then I've got for the like Big Mind coaching. I put 1. I empower children through sport, or the other option is I empower children through sport and mentorship programs. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's great, right? You're given the service, the problem you're solving, but it has to have matrix. It has to have timeline.
Yeah.
Right. And what's the matrix? So because when once you make that clear, they know that's you, because I empower kids. Say that again. I empower kids
I empower children through sport and mentorship programs over 6 weeks.
Over 6 weeks.
Or in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then he said like the thing is like basically there's a little diagram, you probably can't see it. It's like basically just going through like about 7 different doors, and he was like, you just got to go through different things will change along the way. So the first door you go through is not where doors are gonna lead to different doors, and you figure out how long you go. You got to know yourself, know the industry, know your product, and then you get the money. He was saying like people just jump into product, just got a product, but they don't really know themselves, don't know the industry. So he was on about like the steps, you got to go through that. You mentioned on about like your personality type, how you learn, what you value, like altitude, and then just goes through that. But it's been like good. But
so I'm doing. I've been reading a lot of this guy called Jay Abraham. Have you heard of him?
What does he do?
So he's one of the leading business marketing gurus. So I've been doing a lot of his programs and reading a lot of his stuff. So he talks about preeminence a lot, meaning to say that when you want to deal with somebody, when you want to be a hero to a group, you need to be able to position yourself as the expert in the industry. So you must be able to articulate their problem better than they can actually describe their problem.
Yeah.
Right. So that means that you got to become a domain expertise. For example, now all you should be doing is concentrating on and reading everything that is about child psychology.
Yeah.
The problems that kids go through, how other people in the other parts of the world are solving those problems. So once you take all of that together, all that information together, then you package it as your own solution. And then you put that trademark on that, right?
Yeah.
So that was really something that I learned this week. Like, okay, I've got all of this knowledge. How do I package it? How do I now create a simple message, productize it, make sure that people understand that I'm the guy that is the go-to guy for this particular problem.
Yeah.
Right. And then the market will find you. So that is something that you need to start thinking about. You need to put a lot of effort into. But you already started by doing the 7 steps, right? That's a start. Once you start feeling that together, and like I told you on why, how, and the execution.
Yeah.
And then you have the content there. Then you got the entire project together.
Yeah.
And when you go and speak to people, then everything flows because you know exactly what you're doing step by step. So you're not going, I'm going to do this. No, tomorrow I'm going to do this. No, my program is this. 6 weeks, I got this. So as soon as you become so clear, people trust.
Yeah.
Right? When you have clarity, it's because people don't. When you go, I try, no, this doesn't work, right? So as soon as you have clarity, people start thinking, oh, this guy knows what he's
So
talking about.
until I've got this perfect or step by step, detail by detail, I know it inside out, I don't present it to the school, do I?
Don't do that yet. Yeah, have the full. That also doesn't mean that you should be paralyzed by being for being perfect, right? Don't overanalyze and don't try to be perfect because you're never going to be perfect in the first round.
Yeah.
As long as it's good to go, you understand, you know how to deliver it, go.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're going to have version 2, version 3, version 4. It's going to evolve all the time.
Yeah.
As soon as you think that it's good enough to let people understand what you're trying to get across, then it's okay, ready to go.
Well, good. Covered everything.
Good stuff. Anything else?
Any more books? I've got about an hour. No, about 50 minutes left on. Let the story do the work. I've
Oh, is it good?
ordered. Yeah. What was it? I've just ordered. Shall be sold. Just
Oh,
ordered
Sell or
that.
Be Sold. Yeah, okay.
That list.
I'll send you some as well. I'm reading one, but I don't see you posting on LinkedIn anymore. Should be telling your stories. You have to, because like I said, the organic reach on LinkedIn is amazing at the moment. You need to be creating content. Yeah.
No, I've still got. And I said I've been doing a couple of. Well, I haven't. I've got to do more of them as well. But I started doing little videos.
Yeah.
I've got to spend a day of like cutting them up.
And then just put out content. Otherwise, like I said, the preeminence, like people won't know who you are.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to put out content. Don't overthink it. Don't be shy to let people know what your solution is, because you got your own signature solution, right?
Yeah.
You got to polarize people. I mean, there's got to be some people that watch a video and go, "What the hell is he talking about?" Right? And then some people go, "Wow, that's amazing." You have to polarize people, because otherwise, you're just pandering to the crowd.
Yeah.
Right? That's not going to help you. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, mate. If there's nothing else, all the best. I'll speak to you soon.
All right then. Nice one.
Cheers, bye.
Cheers. Yeah.